So, what is Kingdom Basics? There is a lot of information about kingdom living and being in the kingdom and how to legislate from the kingdom. I rely very heavily on Mike Parsons, but I also use various other resources: Ian Clayton, Arthur Burke, Nancy Cohen, Dr. O. There's a lot of information out there. And I present a 12 session, it's 12 mentoring sessions. I have picked 12 topics about the kingdom, and I explain each topic as best I can to you, and we do some practice. Each session is made up of about a 20-minute slideshow presentation where I talk about what the information about that topic. Then I do an activation where you actually practice doing that particular aspect of the kingdom. Then I turn off the recording and we begin to share. You do not have to share what you've experienced in the activation. If you have questions, that is a good time to ask questions. So if you're listening to me do the presentation and you don't understand it, I just simply ask that people write it down and ask me after the video has been done. I do upload the videos about a day or two later, and they are available on the Kingdom Basics forum, which you do need to register for the mentoring sessions to have access to that forum. So what topics do I talk about? First of all, spirit basics. Just what do I mean by that? If you have not done a lot of work with your spirit, and I do specify it is spirit, soul, and body. The spirit is a separate part of you, and you need to exercise your spirit. In this particular mentoring session, I list a lot of different resources. I talk about different people who have different information, and some of them are widely different. It's not all about spirit, but it's there as something for you to go look at if you want. You don't have to. What I didn't mention a few minutes ago was that anything that I say, if it does not resonate with you, then forget about it. It's only what you need for your activation, for your walk, and your walk is going to be very different from mine. So this has got resources. I try to give you either the website or the actual books. And I know there's people out there who want something for free. Sometimes you do need to pay, even in the kingdom. You need to pay in cost of your time and other things. So that is spirit basics. And there are, like I said, exercises that come with that. River of life. So what is the river of life? How do you access it? The activation is I actually take you into the river of life to help you to experience so that you can get a better understanding of what it feels like to be in the river of life. Heart Garden. The Heart Garden is a part of you that is an intimate place where you can go to be with Father, Son, and Holy Spirit and learn to know each person of the Trinity more intimately. It's a private place. You basically can start out by building it in your imagination. Later, it may totally turn into something different. And the activation is actually you beginning to build that heart garden. Tabernacle. This is a hard one for a lot of people. I take you through the Tabernacle of Moses, beginning with the bronze altar all the way into before the Ark of the Covenant. and what each piece of furniture represents in terms of Christ. Doing some of the exercise and the activation can be a little bit stretching you. Gates. What are gates? What are we talking about? You are a gate, and you have lots of gates within you. And I walk you through spirit, soul, and body gates and what we're talking about. And the activation is I actually begin with the first love gate, walk you through a spirit gate, a soul gate, and a body gate to give you that process of how to activate your own gates. Seat of authority. This is also mountains. You are a mountain. So see, you're already here. You're a gate, you're a mountain. And this is where your throne is located. And so I walk you through what are we talking about when we talk about mountains and beginning to live in kingdom government. Trading. This is another difficult one for people. It's sometimes very hard to explain trading. It's an exchange. And oftentimes we are in the process of doing an exchange, which is not a righteous exchange. And we need to really begin to look at our behavior. Mobile court. This has had a lot of hype in the last several years. What is the mobile court? How do we use it? I rely very heavily on Mike Parsons for the mobile court mentoring session and walk you through a very formalized version of it. Somebody asked me recently why we do this. The mobile court is about getting rid of legal access that the enemy may have gotten into you, that you are not even aware of. And you will learn that over time, as you use the mobile court more and more, it becomes very quick and you don't have to go through the formal process. And so I just kind of walk you through an activation of what the types of things that you're going to present and how to present a case in the mobile court. 7 spirits. This relies very heavily, Ian Clayton and Mike Parsons and many others. You're going to hear different people talk about the 7 spirits of God. And it comes from Isaiah 11. I also go into the 7 redemptive gifts, which line up with the 7 spirits. And then the activation is walking you through each of the 7 spirits to begin to engage them. Court protocol. This is about the courts of heaven and explaining the court system. And when I'm talking about courts, it's not all of the kingdom. It's only the governmental legislative part of the kingdom. And so there is a whole lot in the kingdom that doesn't fall under this particular category. And then I walk you through going up into the court of the strategy room, which is in the court of war. And that's the activation. Angels, one of my favorite topics. I take heavily from Ian Clayton and Mike Parsons on angels, but I also include Dr. O's view on angels. And the activation is helping you to get to know your own personal angels, your guardian angels. And the last one is foundations. Here I talk more about kingdom government and how we walk through beginning to legislate in our lives and from our mountain. So that is Kingdom Basics. I generally do a weekly session. I try to do a morning one. I'm looking at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, and possibly, if there's interest, a 6 p.m. On Thursday. But it's going to depend on interest. I do need preferably at least 3 people. I can work with 2, mainly just for the discussion part of it. It's easier when there is a few more people, then you can bounce ideas back and forth. And understand, there is no right way. This is not about giving you a program. It's not about giving you, this is the process, this is how you have to follow it step by step. These are tools to give you a better understanding of the kingdom and how you begin to walk in kingdom living.